Welcome to Live 365 Radio. It's your girl Stacey J, and we're back. And we are back with one of our dynamic shows. We have two dynamic guests because you guys have heard me talking about this energetic healing, clearing, and property clearing, and all these different things. And I am telling you these things, guys, for a reason because it is so important that we are evolving in this time. So today, I want to welcome Laota and Tavares from Of the Sun to the show.
Thank you so much. We are so happy to be here with honor, respect, and gratitude to you.
Thank you guys for being here. Now, so guys, tell everybody a little bit what you do, or introduce yourself a little bit and tell them about Of the Sun.
Well, Of the Sun is a result of many years of me working towards evolving into a more complete divine feminine aspect. Mm-hmm. And in that opportunity, as I explored it, I realized that we are called persons, mm-hmm. parts of the sun. And so I named my company for what I am, part of the sun, as you are part of the sun. And I had many experiences. We do healings. We help people remove negative. We work with people who have mental issues. We do a variety of different kinds of experiences. But our website really talks about the products that we make, the elevated and evolutionary experiences that can be brought forward through the process of energetic hygiene. So we are the people who are cleaning what is unseen that makes negative come into the scene. So we are, so to say, if you have a housekeeper, or if you clean your house, if you go away for a weekend or a week on vacation, like I know you want to go somewhere really soon, like Dubai, you come back, even if you clean the house completely, when you come back, the house will have a film of dirt on it called dust. This is an example of what happens in physical reality. In physical reality, if you do nothing, the dirt will overcome you. So even after a week or two, the house, it shows you what happens in physical reality. So just as we take care of cleaning our ears and washing our faces and taking care of our oral hygiene, our energetic hygiene must be taken care of too. And if we neglect that, then it accumulates and it eventually brings us to a point where we are no more. So we are in the business of energetic hygiene. And what is often not realized is that all medical, physical disease or dis-ease is truly an accumulation of negative. So we're in the business of removing negative from every single layer. And Tavares, I'm very happy to say, is the number one at Of the Sun. And he actually came in as a client and began his process with us as a client. I'd like to know if you would share.
Yes. So again, my name is Tavares of the Sun, and I currently operate as a CFO and an instructor of quantum light property clearing, which I actually just completed teaching a class today.
Just months ago.
Half an hour prior to this podcast. And I started off as a client. I was seeking truth, and I knew that there was more than just physical reality. So learning about energy and how this influences our day-to-day experiences mentally and emotionally, and to be capable of doing something about that, to rectify it. You know, you're looking for the teacher, the mentor, asking you shall find, and came across Laota, went through the soul clearing process. I saw that the work worked, especially if you apply yourself. And then I was introduced to the idea of quantum light property clearing, began clearing my space, my neighborhood. I began to see changes. I mean, negative influences in the neighborhood moving out of the neighborhood after uplifting the vibrational environment or the energetic landscape and seeing that the only thing that can be here is something that matches that level, and seeing that level of power within myself, I said, I want some more of this. So I continued to take classes, and long story short, I became an instructor, opened up 3 locations with Laota in downtown Fort Myers, and I'm here today continuing to teach people energetic hygiene to empower themselves.
We not only have had stores and offices, and we also own a franchise. I have a franchise where people can come in and they can operate in any of the uplifting things that they may have already in mind to do, whatever their business is, but they can also sell our products and be under our umbrella of energetic protection and cleaning as they learn their own. They can come in like someone wants to be a counselor, they want to be able to help others, and they have a particular thing they want to do. We will help them refine that idea if they don't know exactly, and then we support them under our umbrella of Inlakesh. So the name of the franchises are Inlakesh, and we have franchisee owners in different parts of the country. In fact, I recently moved to Georgia, and some of our franchisee owners have moved here to be close to us and to be close to, we are manufacturers of energetic products that are all very effective.
Yes.
And I know you have some of them, and we sold some of them to Tiana too.
Yes.
Yeah, I was waiting to tell my story. So, after talking with you guys on set, and then just continuing the conversation, because I met you at the car, I was like, can I get this? Can I get this? Can I get this? Because I find myself, I've always done some work, some level of work. And I see that there's a big shift with the world. I'm seeing so many people do this. So it was just an honor to meet you guys. So when I have my property clearing, my energetic hygiene clearing with them, you listen, and the things that we talked about, I was already kind of high in the percentages, was like, yes, I'm doing it, but there's always so more work to do. And so when I did that with you guys, and we just talked recently about my follow-up, and I'm like, things are just kind of moving smoothly. Like, I'm seeing the affirmations, I'm doing the work, and I'm seeing a shift. And it's not anything, people, that it's going to be like, pow, because we move so fast, you always miss it anyway. But if you just flow, I started to see the people that I'm meeting, the project that I've just taken, it's so much, it's just easy. And, when you see that, you want more, as Tavara said. And so that is why I promote you guys and wanted to have you on the show to tell people, because again, I'm running into a lot of people that are, I guess, waking up or,
Yes.
Wanting to tap in. And so I just feel that it's, my opportunity and my duty to share this knowledge with people, even until I learn it, because I'm a client now, but I'm going to be an instructor soon.
That's right.
Absolutely.
So,
Tavara came 7, almost 8 years ago, and he's already teaching 5 different classes and handling things that is all original work. That's very effective work. So, of course, we want people to learn. We want to give you what we have. We are not trying to withhold. We need to bring power forward.
Yes.
We need to bring the divine masculine and the divine feminine forward with enough power to do something about things. Yeah. So if something comes into your experience, we want you to be able to move through it, which is really what you're saying. I really wanted to comment on, you're saying everything feels good. The way this works is that whatever's been hanging in the background, whatever things you want to have happen, when you get the clearings, it just happens.
Yeah.
All the interference is gone. There's no push. You just, I got the job. It was so easy. They just called me. Here I am. It's like that.
Yeah. And do you mind, because I don't want to give them the secrets because they have to call. However, when you go through the process, what are some of the things that you guys do? Like, I know for me, I don't know, the 20 generations past, how you do things, just a couple of little things that if they get the service, some of the things that you do.
Well, there's a protocol for soul clearing. So you are in the middle of the soul clearing protocol, which is 3 steps and then 2 additional ones if you want to take classes. So the first step is advanced soul clearing 1. And in that step, we go to the past lives, because anything else would be in the middle of the paragraph, wouldn't it?
Yes.
So we go to where everything began. So if you became addicted in a past life, we go there, and then we can deconstruct and collapse the addiction from the beginning of it instead of 200 lifetimes later. So we go through the generations, through the lineage. We look for all the things that are stopping you in your lifetime right now. So we are not looking to tell you you were the queen and you were beautiful and you had all the money.
Right.
No.
I want to know about that. What can I do?
And that was 200 lifetimes. So we're looking for what impacts your life right this minute. What is going on in you right this minute that's in your DNA, in your lineage, or in your past lives that's stopping you from accessing the greatness that you need to access, or the wealth that you need to access, or the beauty, or the love, or all the family things, all these kinds of things. So in the second advanced soul clearing, we're really moving curses and spells and any level of bondage, any level of enslavement that may have happened with your great, 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 great grandmother or grandfather, or the Masons in your family, or whoever was back there doing whatever. And it comes through the DNA. This would include diseases and things like cancer and different things in the family lineage. We start deconstructing all of that. In the third soul clearing, I'm looking at your physical experience. Like, I'll look at you and I'll be able to see whether you have candida, whether you have sugar issues, whether you have high blood pressure, and what we need to do and what foods are recommended, and how to best bring you in with a new thought pattern, a new level of how to consider this, how to think about yourself. This is where the affirmations and the practices come in, that whatever you've been thinking got you to where you are. If you're somewhere you don't want to be, you're going to have to change your thinking. If you know that the people in your family are not well, you need to know, my adage is, if you think what they think and you eat what they eat, you get what they got.
Wow. Wow.
And so
you can see that. Like when
you can clearly see it. You can clearly see it, and we can see in the generations and the lineage. So all kinds of knots can be untied: mental, emotional, spiritual, physical. And we do all of that. We also are in the business of protecting businesses and clearing businesses, clearing properties, clearing estates, clearing. In Georgia, we find there's a lot of ground that houses is on that have been battlefields. And so the battles in other dimensions are still going on. And people are wondering, why are they fighting so much with the people in the house? And it's because there's fighting going on the land in another dimension.
Wow.
So we can quiet that. So is that enough?
That is great. I mean, that is totally enough, because I think that people don't realize how deep this goes. And as we were talking and you were sharing some things with me, it was, I didn't know, but I had some type of something's going on with me, where you like, I feel like I should be here, but I'm not. I got the ideas, what's happening. And so when you start diving deeper into the truth, you start to understand a lot more of how this happens. But now I'm hearing a lot more as I'm going in this journey about the divine, feminine, divine energy. What is that about?
Well, I have a new book out called Call for Truth, which is really a statement about how the truth of history, which is truly his story. Her story was never told. And the story that was told was a lie. So the truth of the matter is, and I encourage everyone to download the book. It's not very long, and it's inexpensive, and it's easy download from our website at ofthesun.com. But the idea is this, that there are, as in nature, as we can see in every aspect, there are two polarities. There's a masculine polarity and a feminine polarity, and together they create. But in our world, there's only a masculine polarity. If you were to look up the history of women, it's pathetic. There's just nothing there. It's empty. There's like 5,000 volumes of what men have done, and there's like 3 pages of women who invented swimming suits.
Right.
It's just not appropriate when there is nothing that has been birthed into this world that has not come through a woman.
Right.
We are designed to birth consciousness. We are designed to receive. Our physical design is one to receive and to gestate. And this has not been honored. We still live in a world where in some countries, baby girls are killed just because they're girls.
Yeah.
This is an unacceptable reality for every one of us. It is important that we stand up within our own divinity and call it forward and give the masculine aspect the proper honor, respect, and gratitude so that we may join together as we once were, which is really the story of Adam and Eve. It is not the way it is told. The idea was we were together, and then we were separated. That man decided to separate from female. It's not quite like they tell it, but the two were once, we were once one. As trees have their masculine and feminine, and as flowers are masculine and feminine. The planet itself, though, is feminine. This universe is feminine. It births stars. You can too. And I think you actually have. Haven't you birthed some stars?
I have, yeah.
And this is something that darkness has used against us. They use against women the fact that they've had children instead of honoring us for being capable of having children, because everybody on this planet cannot have children. True. Some people can't have children. You should be honored and revered for the things that we can do. The intuitive aspect of the feminine has been diminished. It's on the left side of the body. People are beaten in school with a ruler for being left-handed. All of these things are being drummed out of us, but left-handedness is your intuitiveness. The same idea with our hair. Our hair has a lot to do with us understanding our environment. So if we have to cover up our hair, we can't understand if there's darkness coming. So it's really important in every world ideology diminishes the ability for women to be able to stand up in who we are naturally. Yeah. So it's time for that to be put down.
I'd like to briefly chime in because clearly I'm a man supporting the divine feminine. And she said it so well where we see it all over the planet. Clearly, I know I came out of a vagina. I came out of a woman. And any soul that comes into this planet comes from the feminine. But at the same time, we have both of those principles within us, both masculine and feminine. And as a male living in a male-dominated world, typically men are taught to suppress the feminine aspect of themselves. We see a lot of men who are not in balance. They're imbalanced. Where this idea of, don't tune into your feelings. You're a little punk, or it's derogatory terms regarding the intuitive side, the aspect of yourself that would feel, those aspects. These are the feminine principles, but to bring forth the awareness of, hey, look, I tapped into it and look what it's doing for me. I am able to, through tapping into the divine feminine principle and bringing balance into my experience, I can interpret frequency and energy. I know what people are thinking before they even open their mouths. These are all things that are in alignment with the divine feminine. And as we bring this type of balance into ourselves, there is more respect and reverence that we can bring to women on our planet, support them in being in their rightful place and position, in their power in a balanced way. And then where that relationship and that dynamic is respected, but also for the earth and the planet itself, because she's feminine. We can see what we do to the earth. It's the same thing that we've done to women. So if we bring ourselves into balance with both of these principles, it'll change the entire dynamic of the relationship amongst ourselves and with the planet.
It's absolutely, this is, Tavares is a supporter of the divine feminine, but every man on the planet is 50% divine feminine. How could he not be? So to treat a woman right is to treat themselves right.
That's right.
To treat a woman wrong is to treat themselves wrong. To treat the planet wrong, to litter the planet with ideas, concrete and ideas that people think are fashionable, Picasso's and all these different things, to litter the beauty of creation with all of this, destroy the planet, build roads, put up the different things that, like the lines for telephone lines all over the world. They are littering the planet and destroying the way it looks when we could have decided to do something else. Tesla actually had something better, and it was suppressed because you could make more money with telephone wires. So everything in our world, if women were running the world, we would have went for the free energy.
Right.
And we would have, our children would be better fed. Everything would be different if there wouldn't be so much pedophilia if women didn't lose their way and paid more attention to their children and didn't give them to men in places that were not appropriate to the Boy Scouts have been charged, or they owe like millions and millions of dollars for being pedophiles. We know that the Boy Scouts actually have shut down because of all of the many lawsuits.
Yeah.
There's many lawsuits all over the world with religions because of this, where women have given their children under the care to others, thinking that they're gonna take responsibility for them. But we need to stand up as the goddess in our own life and protect our own children and put down anybody who's gonna hurt. You have sons, I have sons too.
Yes.
You know, that could be a real problem for somebody messing with one of our sons, right?
Yeah, I know that's right. I will, lose it, and I've had to do that just in little situations. My son was outside. I remember he was younger, but he could be outside by himself, and it was him and his friend, and they called and said they were at the park, and then he called back like, "Ma, it's these boys chasing us and stuff." When I tell you, I can't tell you what happened, but I know I was in the car. And I was going 90 miles per hour, and I was getting to my son, and then I saw the boys out there, and it was like 10 of them. And I'm thinking, first of all, not to say my child is not, he's perfect or nothing, but it's 10 of you guys, it's him and his friends. So the mom comes out, the grandmother. So now I'm like, let me think logical, because it's a lot of them and it's just us. And so as I'm talking, and this is what I'm saying about sometimes people don't realize some of the power that we have. As I'm talking to them, the mother was like, well, what's going on? She was just real, just agitated and stuff. And I said, ma'am, I don't know what's going on, but look at this. It's 10 of them. And then she said, yeah, I know, they bad. So she agreed with me that these kids are bad. You know what I mean? But it's just knowing as a mom, I don't care 5'2", 100 or whatever. I felt like I was Shaq. And I was going to get everybody that was messing with my child there. But I understand that so much. And you have a podcast that you do on YouTube. And also the call that you invited me to when we talked about water.
I do a monthly talk. Once a month, I do a talk on what is happening currently as relates to our relationship with the Platonic solids, with air, earth, and fire and water, because war is coming to this time that we live in America on the ground. We have to be in touch with what is real. What is real is not the fake hair and the 5-inch heels. What is real is the rain, the wind, the fire and water are real, and we can be in touch with that. I teach people to be in communication with nature. We have talked to storms when storms are coming where we were, and when I had my store and my offices and things in Florida, when the storms came through, we would talk to the storm and say, should we go? And they're like, why would you all are clears? We clears too. Like, y'all be good.
Yeah.
So we won't hurt you because we need to preserve clears. Well, we want to teach people how to clear. We want to teach people how to keep their neighborhood safe, how to release the energies of sadness from their houses, how to release from abuse from the buildings they live in. Yeah. Many people move into apartments that have divorce energy, and they can't figure out why are they bickering when the last 5 couples who lived in there were bickering, and now it's in the molecules in the wall, and they don't know how to move it, but we do.
Yeah.
And we come in, so we work for real estate companies. We do, because sometimes people won't buy a fabulous house, $1 million house, unless we go in and clear it, because the people who were in there before were not nice to each other. Really not nice to each other, but we can move that energy, and that's what we did on the set of the reality show.
Yeah, and I believe that too, because I remember when I first moved here, I moved to a building really nice in Sandy Springs, which is a nice neighborhood, and I'm at home one day and I'm hearing what sounds to be like gunshots, and I'm like, I'm from Chicago, but I don't know. I'm like, maybe it's something different, because the neighborhood is afternoon, like 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Long story short is, I guess the person that lived down there was leasing out the apartment, subleasing, and I guess it was some drug thing went on, and it was a shootout down there. I discovered it, but what really took me back was to see them get that apartment together to rent out again. And I know that they don't have to tell you You know,
Right.
because I went to real estate school, what went on in there, but just the thought of that made me moving forward go, I wonder who used to live here. You know what I mean? Because this is
Yes.
a shootout that happened in this apartment. They brought the blanket, I mean, you know, different stuff out the apartment. You're seeing blood. And I'm like, they're going to patch up the holes in the walls and they're going to re-rent this out. And that just made me say, wherever I go. So for me, I hadn't met you guys yet, but I was saging, you know, I was trying to do the little things that I knew how at the time, because it just makes me aware of, you don't know who used to live here. And now I'm learning better yet, you don't know what this building is built on.
You don't, right. You don't know what happened on the earth, on the ground before the building was built. You don't know what the owner of the building, how he felt about, you know, was he angry when he was building the building? Was he upset? Was he in the middle of a divorce? Is that in the bricks? Is that in the mortar? Is that in the drywall? You know, all of these, we see these things when we go into clear, because we're not using sage, although we love sage and honor and respect sage.
Mhm.
What we're using is, because of the time we live in and the intensity of the negative in our experience, we're using much more powerful things. We're using the divinity of human.
Okay.
We're using something that we're reviving what was, who the human really is, who the divine feminine, who the divine masculine really is. We're honing it, training it, clearing it, and then we're teaching people how to tap into that. And that is what clears it, because all the computers, all the things that we know about are all examples of humanity.
Mm-hmm.
The computer is an example of a brain. That's
Yeah.
how a brain works. You know, and you know when you're overloaded.
Right.
You know,
You
Sorry.
crash.
so this idea of calling forth your divinity, and then we make wonderful products that are extremely powerful, that are layered with ancient understandings as well as new technology.
I have mine close by. I put it on here so when it
You
burns.
have your clearing candle, and those come in all chakra colors, and those will clear darkness out of a house and with a 20-minute burn. And you and I both have our
I gotta get some more fluid for mine. I want to pop mine on for y'all too. But this I absolutely love. And when I got it from you and I had just started at the show. And so I would take it with me. And so, you know, before I go in, or I may go out for lunch, and I just absolutely love it because, and your soap. Oh, she got product, y'all. You know, I remember when I bought that too, I was going to an event and I was like, it's gonna be a lot of people here, it's a lot of energy, and I washed in it. And sometimes, like I say, I don't want people to think you washing this like you waiting like, up, nope, I didn't feel anything. No, it's a knowing. So when I did it, I just noticed how it just flows. And so if I have a day that's a little challenging, I'd be like, where's my soap? I go take a shower in it. You know what I mean? And so I appreciate this, man. I got to get my fluid, because remember I called you, I'm like, it's not working anymore.
like you have to fill it up.
So I have to fill it up. But this has been, I think this is like, I don't know how to describe it, taking a little, this energy with you. And so you can kind of clear it at any time. That's how I feel. And that's the belief I have in it, is if I'm somewhere and I'm like, oh my God, they're getting on my nerves. It just makes me feel good about it. But I appreciate you. And I wanted to ask you this last thing about, is it pronounced Akashic Records?
Yes, and actually Tavares is the Akashic Record reader for those who would like to open up the universal records. We do teach classes so people can learn how, but there is a protocol. You have to go through soul clearings first, because you have to be elevated to the level of one mind so that we teach all the classes from there. So Tavares actually teaches the classes and opens the records, and I will invite you to have an Akashic Record reading with Of the Sun with Tavares sometime soon, so that you can have a show about it. And we can open up the universal records and then speak to whatever has happened in the story of who you are from the very beginning. And where it is past, it is present, and it is future. For everything, for the world, for the building you live in, for your children, for your grandchildren, we can look to see where they're going, and we can look to see where they came from. And we can also see, who are you really? Who are you? Who are you really? So we can do that, and that might be a fun show to do with Tavares. And certainly, we invite you to have a reading. I'm so encouraged to see you with the smoke. The way the smoke works is this is ancient understanding. These woods come from the jungle countries. They come from Burma. They come from Vietnam, where they are revered and held in high esteem because the trees that the wood comes from have been diseased and they overcame the disease. And then they're considered magical because they're stronger, that they have, just like you, just like me, we've overcome things.
Yeah.
And so we're stronger. This is the point. You are at the point in your life where you should be revered and brought forward. And you are in agreement with that. And I am too.
Yes. Touch and agree. I am with you.
So you are in your magical moment, and the wood is magical for the same reason. It has overcome illness and sicknesses. And as soon as it thought it was going to die, it breathed again. That is like you you breathe again. It's like, I'm still breathing. I'm still here. I'm still learning. And so that ability makes the wood magical. And then the smoke itself is multidimensional. So it goes through all of the records. It goes through the past, present, and future. So when you burn that smoke, it will follow the thing that's negative out the door. It's like, no, go on out that door. Yes. So that's a wonderful thing. I'm so pleased that you had us on today. Did you have something else?
I just say visit our website, ofthesun.com, get yourself a free energetic consultation with myself, where we can introduce you to these concepts of energetic hygiene. So again, as Stacy said, more people on the planet are becoming aware, and people are looking for solutions because what we did then is not working now.
That's true.
And acknowledging that, oh, there's more, there's energy. Everyone feels energy. Everyone's aware. They may not be using the language of frequency and vibration, but it's palpable when you go into a space. Like you said, you went into that place and you knew it was a lot of people and you was like, I need to get all this stuff off me, energy hygiene, because we're dealing with the accumulation, like Laota mentioned, from our past, and it's just accumulating and it's built up. And that's what's bringing to us these unresolved circumstances that continue to cycle. But with us, we can guide you through this and help you step into your power and teach others the same thing.
I'm so glad that Tavares shared with you all that we give first. So in any relationship with Of the Sun, if you come and you're interested or you're investigating, we will give a free energetic consult to explain to you who we are, so that we are always in the position of giving. So we thank you for giving back.
Thank you guys too. And I just wanted to leave off with sharing with people is that's what the show is about, and as well as how you're giving information out, is when you start to do the work, you will attract everything that you need. That's what I believe. And so that's how I met you guys. And and you can just, you feel it. You feel that, I'm seeking, and the universe will provide everything else that you need. So if you're watching my show, these are the things that I'm most passionate about, is evolving and learning how to come to the truth and protect our kids. I have grandchildren now, and my biggest thing is the things I didn't know then I know now, and I want to teach my children that so that they can keep passing on generations to come. So I appreciate you guys. They are ofthesun.com. Hit me up, hit them up. I am definitely encouraging people that are looking to change in their life to do this just one step at a time. You have to remove your old thinking and to move into new thinking, and you're going to lose friends and you're going to lose people, and you want to lose them. I'm telling you, I don't care if you've been friends for 25 years. If it is not helping you grow, don't feel guilty about that. And that's the thing, is you're learning something and you're doing that alone. And it's great if you can bring somebody with you, but do it for yourself. Do it for yourself. Start taking the opportunity to tap in and find the truth. So guys, you can find me here on Live 365 Radio ATL on YouTube. Subscribe. Follow Laota and Tavares at ofthesun.com. That is the website. And are you guys on social media too?
We have a YouTube channel, and it's Laota of the Sun, Laota. And I'd like to invite you and invite the audience to join me in calling for the power of the divine feminine to come back into our world.
Yeah.
call for the power of women, the divine feminine, to come back so that we can be in balance, so that women can be balanced and men can be balanced too.
I
Thank
agree.
you.
Thank you,
With
guys.
honor, respect,
Honor,
and
respect, and gratitude
gratitude.
to you.